Are you tired of missing big breakout trades? This momentum trading strategy catches explosive moves before they happen. Today, I will show you exactly how to set it up in TradingView. But alright, so now we are in TradingView. We are right now looking at a gold chart actually on the daily time frame. So every candlestick here represents 1 day. And by the way, guys, if you for some reason don't have TradingView yet, I do have a special TradingView link that you can use to try out TradingView Premium for free for 30 days, and you will also get a $15 bonus. So if you for some reason don't have TradingView yet, make sure to use that link so you can use all the features here in TradingView. But now let's take a look at the trading strategy, and remember the first concept we need to understand here, and that I talked about, is something called momentum candles, right? And remember that we said that a momentum candle is a candlestick that is at least 2 times as large as the previous candles. And I usually look back at around 5 candles for this, and I usually want to actually see that the candle is even larger than 2 times as large. Preferably, I want to see something like 3 times or even 4 times as large. So let's take a look at an example so this is clear. For example, if you take a look at this candle right here, if you look at the size of the real body, that is the wide part of the candle, you can see that this length here of the real body is clearly more than twice the size of all of these previous 5 candles, right? Even this candle that was quite big, we can see that this one is clearly more than twice the size. It's even 3 times as large. So this candle right here is a great example of a momentum candle. And to understand this concept a bit more, we can also, for example, look at this candle right here. And this one is not as clear. You can see that this real body is around this length right here. And if we look back at the previous 5 candles, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can see that this candle, yes, I would consider this like a small momentum candle because it is more than twice the size of this candle, but it's far from as good as this momentum candle. So the first step for this strategy is to identify a momentum candle right here. But remember what we talked about earlier in this video. In order to increase the likelihood of a successful trade, we actually want to combine multiple factors. And in this particular case, we can actually see something very interesting, because we did have, prior to this momentum candle, we actually saw a long sort of consolidating structure. You can see we printed one high, lower high, lower high. We printed, a low right here, lower low, lower low. So in a larger time frame, oops, that was a bit ugly, but we can actually see that this is almost like a sort of massive bear flag looking structure. And with this momentum candle coming in right here, that we have already confirmed is a momentum candle, we actually saw the breakout of this structure. So here we are breaking a short pattern, and at the same time we are having a momentum candle. And yet another factor we can actually consider, let's actually consider the volume. Remember, I talked about this earlier, that volume is another sort of indicator we can use here for confirmation. The more volume we have when we see a move, so for example, the more volume we have when we see a move towards the upside, the more market participants are sort of agreeing that this is a valid move. And very interestingly, we can see right here that when we saw the breakout, we actually saw a sharp increase in volume as well. So here we had 3 bullish factors happening at the same time. So if we enter our long position at the candle close of the momentum candle, setting the stop loss just below the low prior to the breakout, and with a simple 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, the trade would have looked something like this. But right, so now let's take a look at what actually creates, or in other words, what actually drives the momentum that we as momentum traders are riding. Well, one thing that can drive momentum is news-based momentum. So things like earnings releases, product announcements, or maybe analyst upgrades can all trigger strong price movements. But as technical traders, we don't really have to, if we don't want to, we don't have to pay attention to the news. We can focus on the price because in one sense, you can think about it that the news are sort of reflected in the price, right? But there are definitely traders that are combining analysis of news and technical analysis. Another thing that can drive momentum is sector and thematic momentum, and we also have different fundamental triggers. But all right, so here, and this is very important, what about the risk management when it comes to trading momentum? Remember, momentum can be a great way. All right, so this video was actually just a very short clip from our full momentum trading guide right here on YouTube. To watch the full guide, simply click or tap on the screen right here. I hope I will see you all over there very, very soon.